Hello, I am Victoria Seed and I am coming to you from the Vesta Approach in Manchester, UK. I help families who are affected by a loved one's alcohol or drug use to reduce their stress and live a better life. And I do this by teaching effective strategies to cope through my online one-to-one and group work programs. And I can help you too. Professionals, if you're watching, no problem. Share in your networks. If you know anyone that might want some help, pass them over. Let them know about what I offer. Living with a loved one's problem drinking or drug use can cause chaos for the people around them. So, what this session is all about the things that you can start to think about putting in place to have a calmer Christmas this year. In today's live, we are talking about 5 ways to Christmas without chaos. Now, what I've got to say to you is that if you haven't already got it, I would absolutely head over and grab my free download, which has my top 10 tips to family recovery. Okay, if you're watching this and you're somebody who is using substances, don't worry, you can listen to this. Let me know whether you agree or disagree. Drop me a DM because I can help you too. And if I can't help you, I've got a lot of really great professional friends who may also be able to help as well. So don't be alone. Okay, let's make a start on this. So let me know if you're watching in comments or drop me a DM or an email to let me know what your thoughts are on this. Number one, the first thing I want you to do is set healthy boundaries, okay? So you probably heard this before if you are a family member, friend, or partner who is living with a loved one's drinking or drug use. Setting healthy boundaries, it means that you have to think about what you want your life to be like and what you need to have met. Because quite often the families that I help, the family members that I help, are focusing all of their energy on their loved one and trying to get them to stop their use, right? It usually in ways that are completely out of a place of love, care, and kindness, but don't quite make any difference to what is going on, right? I'm trying to say this in a nice diplomatic way. What I do is teach you strategies that work so that you can influence a change in your loved one, because you cannot make somebody else change. They've got to do it for themselves. And the best way to do that is to invite them to make a change, but also by asserting your own needs so that your needs are met as well. So setting healthy boundaries is something that I want you to have a think about now. So are you going to allow your loved one to drink in the house? If they're intoxicated, what is going to happen? What's going to happen if they're intoxicated around your children? What's going to happen if drug paraphernalia are lying around? You've got to get this clear in your head, because otherwise your focus is simply on stopping your loved one, but you've not got clarity around what you are asking for and what you are not asking for, because stopping drugs and alcohol is too big. It's too big for anybody to manage. So have a think about it. Have a think about those things. Number 2, use positive communication techniques. So this can be really, really hard. And even though I know this, and I've been teaching this for a long, long time, I don't do this all of the time, right? But if we use positive communication techniques and start to respond instead of reacting, that is where we are going to get the best out of our relationship. That is where we are going to be able to influence somebody to make a change around their drinking or drug use. If there's constant conflict, you're just contributing to the chaos, right? If you're losing it, you're using all of your negative energy. So what you got to think about is, what are the ways that I can reframe what I'm saying so that it's in a calm, compassionate way, while I am getting my own needs met as well. What am I actually asking for in this interaction with my loved one? Because a lot of the time it just comes up in the chaos. There's altercations, everybody's clashing, and then when things are going good, no one says anything because they're hoping that it won't change. But in reality, it needs to be the other way around, right? You need to come away from it when the chaos is happening, and you need to enter those discussions when the calm is happening. So there's a lot to this, but just have a think about how you can do that. Number 3, providing alternatives, rewards for your loved one at times when they are using their substances when they are sober, right? So if you know your loved one's trigger time is a Friday night after work, a really good strategy to use, not in isolation with all the other stuff, is to think about things that you can do to remind your loved one there is more to life than using their substance, because the substance use affects dopamine, and dopamine is a reward transmitter in our brains, okay? And what happens with that is that the dopamine is flooded by the fake rewards that we get from substances. So therefore, your loved one starts to not enjoy anything unless it's a substance, even if they're not really enjoying it, right? Because it gets to a point a lot of the time where people don't even enjoy it, but it's kind of brain trickery that they need to have that. And that's where we get a dependency, whether it's psychological or physical dependence. So your role in that, what you can do is create some good times, create some suggestions. You don't have to spend loads of money going on big days out or anything. You can if you want, but it's about creating connection, doing things with your loved one that you both enjoy, reminding them about things that they used to like or you used to like together, getting them interested in other things, having those conversations. And also when they're sober, telling them that you prefer spending time with them when they're sober, giving them that affection, giving them that love, giving them that praise. And this stuff really works. It may sound ridiculous to you, because a lot of feedback is, I don't understand this, like, why am I doing this? But it really works, because I mean, my children at the moment are not doing as I say in the morning. They don't get dressed, they don't put the shoes on, they don't put the coats on, don't put the shoes on. And I've fallen into that trap of nagging. But actually, this morning, I said, you know what? If you manage to get your coats and shoes on this week, by the end of the week, I'm going to take you to your auntie's cafe for pancakes. And they're both like, oh, yeah. So, this stuff works. It's worked for many, many years in parenting and relationships, in services. So we've got to try it, right? Number 4, helping without enabling. Now, I have a course for this. It's only £49. So if you want it, just drop me a message and I will send it over to you. Really, really good to talk you through this process. If you're a family member and you are affected by a loved one's drinking or drug use, you've probably heard of this term. And what enabling means is that family members, friends, and partners end up removing the consequences or rescuing a loved one from the consequences of their substance use. And what happens with that is it delays any change. And the reason for that is because if your loved one doesn't experience those natural consequences, then the benefits always outweigh the costs. And until the costs outweigh the benefits of the substance use, they're just going to carry on doing it. All right. Doesn't matter whether you're screaming your head off at them and, it's impacting everyone in the family. If you keep rescuing them at the same time, it's all a waste of time, right? And remember, I'm not talking here about tough love, rock bottoms, or chucking your loved one out or anything like that. That isn't what this is about. It might get to that for you, and that's up to you. What it's about is thinking about all of the things that you're doing for your loved one and thinking about which of those things you can stop and feel safe to stop for you so that they can experience the consequences themselves. So, for example, if they're intoxicated and there's a family event, instead of shipping them out, driving them home or whatever, just leave them and let people see it, see the consequences of that behavior. This is an example. You might not want to do this, but as an example for you. Or another one might be that you're ringing in sick to work for them when they've got a hangover or a come down. Stop doing it. Okay. So number 5, the last one, withdraw from your loved one when they are intoxicated. When your loved one is intoxicated, don't get into any interactions. Probably won't remember. You'll drive yourself crazy. Nothing good is going to come of it. make other plans for yourself. So make a list of all of the things that you can do when your loved one is intoxicated. Don't huff and puff. Don't be passive aggressive or aggressive. Just say, I can see you've had a drink. I can see you've used, or I suspect you use. I may never know the truth, but I'm going to take myself away and do something for myself. Have a bath, watch Netflix, whatever it is you want to do. Ring a friend, go and see somebody, go to the gym, any of those things. Make a list of those strategies, because being in it with them, you're contributing to the chaos. Okay, so let's have a recap. Number 1, set healthy boundaries. Number 2, use positive communication techniques. Number 3, provide your loved one with rewards that competes with times that they're using the substances and when they are sober. 4, help without enabling. And 5, withdraw from your loved one when they are intoxicated. If you're waiting for things to get better without help, it probably isn't going to happen. Everyone focuses on help for the loved one, but I've been doing this work for nearly 20 years, and I can categorically say getting your own help is going to make a difference to your life and your family's life. So, like I say, go and get my top 10 tips here, but I also have programs that are going to support you right through the Christmas period. So drop me a message. I'll drop the links in below, and have a good day. I will see you next week.